Morning all. I'm going to do a really short video, I hope, on fig trees real quick. This fig tree, which I'm trying to see in the sun, really hard to see my camera in the sun, it's really sunny. This thing's about 7 feet tall, and this one was planted last year. These came out of my compost. We eat a lot of figs because we grow a lot of fig trees. And they were so tiny, they grew last year, so my husband stuck this in his garden. So there's one, and now we're going to walk through his garden. I'm not doing a full garden tour today of his garden, but I will. And there's the other one. Let's see if I can get over to it. And this one, about 5.5 feet tall. And those are his. And he's got them growing in his sweet potato patch, and I'm not sure what else. Is this turmeric or ginger? Or what are these?
Turmeric.
This is turmeric.
One ginger.
Okay, well it doesn't matter. We're not doing a video thing on... You having a migraine today, so we'll do that another day. Okay, so this is... He stuck the other one. I had a few of them. I didn't have the heart to throw them away. So he stuck it in there. So these are the ones growing in his garden down here. The two that we pulled out of the compost. Now I'm going to go back and we're going to go up, because my garden's up on top of the hill. His is down in the valley. I'm going to go to my garden. I'm going to show you the trees that I planted. Same time, same age. They're just barely a little over a year old. And I'm going to show you that one. Okay, now we're back in my garden. Well, this is behind my garden. This is where that wall is. And these are, look at avocados. These are the fig trees I planted. There were 4 of them, and they were up in my compost. This one's over 10 feet tall, and it's got figs. The figs on this one are very good. I've already been eating them. They're a light colored fig, and on the inside they're pink, and they're very sweet. Very, very good. Let's see if I can show you where the trunk is on here. See the trunk size? Okay, now this has got a bigger trunk. This is a very special fig. I can't really get a good shot of it in the angle I'm at. And this is a really good fig. Again, keep in mind, these figs are only a year old, these trees. They're maybe a year now and a couple months. Okay, this one's probably about 12 feet tall. No, 15 feet tall. This is phenomenal. I don't know what kind of fig it is. Remember, they're probably hybrids, or who knows. I don't know how that works, but this fig is also greenish, has a little color on the outside, but when you break it open, it's blood red inside, so red. I should say like a strawberry. And my husband and I ate them, and it was like you're eating a mouthful of strawberries. I've never had anything like that before. So what we're going to do on this particular fig tree is we're going to try to, trim some limbs off and root them, because this is an amazing fig tree. Okay, now this massive tree, which I'm under, I have no idea how the camera's filming this because it's so bright and sunny today. Look at the size trunk on that thing. I mean, it's massive. Again, these are all the same age. They all came out of my compost last year. I didn't trim this right. I was trimming these trees, and this one's going that way. There's the figs on there. This is a failure as far as figs. This tree from seed looks nice. It tastes bad. I mean, the fig, no matter how hard I water it and try to like a fig off of this tree, and it's full of figs, they taste really bad. You break them open, they look really good. They look like they're going to be juicy and good. You break them open and they're dry. They're kind of a light tan inside, no matter how long we leave it ripe. I remember there was a field out here of fig trees. There was an empty lot. And I used to park when I first moved out here and run out there and pick them by the bags and bring them home, and they tasted like this, really bad. So I guess we're going to end up taking it out. And then there's one more. Let's see if I can reach around this way. And here's this one. This one is just producing figs on the top. I have no idea what this one tastes like. So I'm hoping we get one more that's good, but if not, it will probably go. But this, like I said, this is another one. These are all yearlings. And they have good sized trunks. This was the smallest out of all of them. Now, this is what I wanted to show you real quick. See these tubs? Last year, my husband built me these wooden tubs. I don't know what raised beds, I should say. He had some old scrap wood. And he built this one. And then he built this one that's there. And I wasn't, I didn't know when I was going to put something in it. So he had so much llama and donkey manure he brought home. He had no place to put it. He said he used enough. We didn't need it. I said, you know what? Just fill up these 2 bins and just leave them. Nothing but manure. Just leave them and I'll water it and it will start to break down, and then I'll throw squash in there, which I did throw squash in there, and it did grow. It's too shaded now because of the fig tree, so they're not growing that good. Well, we think because of these bins full of the manure breaking down, and there's no bottom on these bins, completely open, it fed these fig trees. And that's why the 2 fig trees closest to these raised beds that were full of llama and donkey manure, I guess there would have been horse in there too, she's got horses too, it fed these trees to the point where it made these massive trunks, and this is why they got so big that they're growing all these figs. The ones in my husband's garden, there's no figs. Not one fig on those trees, same age, not one fig. So it is the heavy feeding of the manure. I guess that one had manure in it too, but it didn't have as much. When he built me that one, I mixed in, I guess I was composting in place kitchen scraps. There was a little bit of manure in there. So that tree's not as big, but it got more than the one down below in his garden. So it ended up with figs, but it didn't get as big. These tree trunks are really big. Again, this one had manure in it. It fed that tree, and that had manure in it. And of course, it fed the other one because I had just told him, just fill them up. He brought home, I think, 2 truckloads of it. She wanted her yard cleaned, and he said, sure. So I just told him, just fill it up. It'll break down, then I'll mix something in it. And so these wooden boxes he built me, raised beds, were full of manure. And this is what caused these trees to get so big. I mean, they just took off. They sat dormant, it didn't grow real quick in the beginning for like a few months. And then all of a sudden they just took off. I mean, I've been trimming them and trimming them. He didn't trim his even. He told me he hasn't touched his. I've been cutting him off. I just didn't cut this branch off, so it kind of came down and it covered up the area, so it shaded the area. My basil's doing good here. That's in the trash can. But that is the reason these trees grew this big in 1 year, was because of the manure. So it was getting, I guess you could say, fed every single day. The manure was leaching into the ground. And the ground around these 4 fig trees was just full of nutrients. And they are heavy feeders, they're ficus. And they just took off and started growing. But growing from seed is not the best. And that's what I was explaining to somebody on one of my YouTube videos, is that when you grow from seed any of these fruit trees, you have no idea what you're going to end up with. You can end up with something fantastic and better than ever. And I think this is the tree up here. We've got more figs up there. They're not ripe yet. But this is the tree that we really want to concentrate on, because the figs that have been ripening and the ones we're eating, you'd almost close your eyes and think you're eating strawberries. We don't understand that, but this one tastes like strawberries, so we'll see. But that's what I wanted to show. The ones in his garden down below, and his garden is way down there. And he did not put the fertilizer like here from the animal manure. His just grew at a normal pace. But mine, because of these bins, they took off. They got massive, these massive tree trunks. So that's why they grew figs in a year. And yes, they are only a year old. These were baby fig trees. They look like weeds coming out of my compost, because I do cold composting only, so I get all kinds of things growing. You know, like David the Good, who's growing pumpkins. Well, we grew pumpkins, and we grew zucchini, and they hybridized, and when I save the seeds, or, I have saved seeds, but when they grow out of my compost, I get the most interesting looking zucchini pumpkin looking things. They taste good. Anyways, that's it. This is on figs. And I'm going back in. And don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye all.